Good evening, everyone. We are starting out with praise reports tonight. And so, Ms. Sheila, you had a praise report for you. What did you have to say? Ms. Sheila, you had a praise report?
Oh, we starting over. Yes. The praise report that I had is that my son graduated from high school, and he received over $300 and some thousand in scholarship money, academics, and graduated with honors. Graduated with the National Honor Society also, and not only just the Honor Society, but the National also. And he will be attending in the fall Xavier University on a full academic scholarship.
Yay. All righty, Miss Glenda, you were getting ready to tell us something you found out?
Yes. On Saturday, I attended the HOA boot camp held at the Sheraton in East Point. It was very informative. And they gave us some information regarding the squatters' rights. However, it's a lot of information. I will email it to you so that you can
pass it on to all the HOAs.
To all the HOAs. But let me give you a prime example of how it was explained to me. On Fairwood Road, we have this individual that sits there in a chair with his food. We've called many times to have this person removed, but they continue to come back. And the lawyer said, ask who owns the street. See, that's the first thing, is the city or the county. And this person that owns the property will have to remove the squatter. We cannot go in, say a complex, and remove squatters. It has to be done by the person that owns the property. So that puts us in a precarious situation in some of the properties that are in the city of South Fulton where squatters reside.
Okay.
And I don't know the solution to that. And another thing that we talked about was developers going into a residential area and changing their homes to rooming houses. Now, in order to do that, that's a rezoning issue. It's a rezoning issue. And we have a rooming house that was modified in our subdivision to a rooming house. And now they've torn up the blinds, and I don't know what else has occurred at the house. And you can see it from the street. Now, East Point has in their code, their zoning and their code, you cannot have any torn blinds at the windows. Everything has to appear as it's in place. But we have this house, and I don't know if that's in our code or not. So I would have to check on that. But in order to convert that house to a rooming house, first you got to get a permit. It's required. And I don't believe that the people that changed this house to a rooming house got a permit, or they went to zoning.
Got you.
So that is something the council needs to look at. And they do not have that in East Point. I talked to the council person, and he gave me his information, and he knows Corey. So we're gonna have to address that issue in the city of South Fulton before it becomes a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for helping us. You always go to these meetings and come back with details, so we appreciate it. Let me see. I have somebody had a birthday. Who was our birthday girl? Karen Stovall.
I'm at work, but I can't talk. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm the
Happy
big
belated
7.
birthday.
Thank you.
All righty. Let me see what else I see. Kimberly DeWitt just got a house and joined the community. Right? Where's Miss Kimberly?
Hi, yes. I just joined the community. I've been in my home, I think, for 3 weeks. And so I'm just trying to get acclimated. I actually came from I grew up in District 12, which is Southeast Atlanta. And so now I'm in another whole district. So I'm just trying to get to know everybody, see how they move over in South Fulton, and excited about what I see is going on. So happy to be here.
Well, we are glad you are decided to come on over to this side of town. We got a lot going on. And I'm gonna give you an update in 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. I'm trying to multitask and put your address in, but I believe you're in this district. Does anybody know where her actual street is?
My street is Denny Drive.
On Denny Drive. Anybody familiar with Denny Drive? I mean, from the zip code, I think you're in our district.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Jane.
I believe you are.
Okay.
Alrighty. Let me see who else. Alrighty. So let's see who else got a praise report.
I do. I do.
Go ahead.
Yes, Miss Johnson.
Come on with it, Miss Johnson.
I celebrated 50 years and just came out of Canada and Alaska.
Uh-oh. So you a world traveler now? Did you get to see the whales?
Yes, I did.
Oh boy. You've been married 50 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And we decided we'll go to Alaska and Canada, and we had a great trip.
All righty then. Let's see who else is on here. Anybody else got a praise? Oh, Stacy Williams got her hand up for a praise report. All righty. Anybody else? Miss Alicia Harley has time to play with us. Feeding Georgia Families. What you got going on in the community right now?
Hey, we're actually distributing right now. So we have about 100 cars out here. We're trying to get through the rest of them before 7 o'clock.
Do you need more volunteers?
Yes, for prep, actually. We usually have enough for the distribution, but for the prep itself, 12 to about 4:30 is when we need the most help.
Any particular days of the week?
On Mondays 12 to 4:30.
Alrighty, so if you can put your contact information in the chat, if anyone is available during Mondays, 12 to 4 or 4:30.
Yeah, 12 to 4:30.
Alrighty, anytime in that time frame to help sort and prep the food to get ready to be handed out. She would appreciate it. So have her go.
Yes, thank you
Alright.
so much.
No, thank you. Alrighty, anybody else got a praise report?
I don't have a praise report. I just want to say that tomorrow is voting day.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding us of that. So if you have not had a chance to go and vote, Ms. Jane, you want to remind everybody about voting and what they're voting for?
You talking to me? I'm sorry.
I said, do you want to remind them what they're voting for tomorrow?
Oh, hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Yes, so tomorrow is election day, and it is for House District 68, which covers Union City, Fairburn, Tyrone, Peachtree City, Fayetteville, and parts of College Park. So that's 6 different cities, right? Now, if you live in any of those cities, it's really important that you go vote. And I'm sorry, somebody say something? And
go ahead.
the candidates are Mark Baker and Derek Jackson. You got one in South Fulton and one in Fayette County. So the turnout has been very low. It's really, really pathetic, y'all. I mean, the turnout last election when I was on the ballot was 1,200 people out of a 42,000 registered voters. Okay, 42,000, and we got 1,200 people out. And this time it's only like 900. So maybe we'll get back up to that 1,200 number. That's not really enough to be proud of, y'all. So hey, if you live in that district, if you live in House District 68, go out and vote. You know, we can't, you know, we want to make change, but we can't make change until we do our civic duty. So go out and vote. Thank y'all for listening. And thank you all who voted for me, who supported me in whichever way you supported me, whether it was stopping by my house for, you know, some support, whether it was a prayer, whether it was funds, no matter what it was, I appreciate it. So thank you a lot. Thanks, Tamika.
You're welcome. I wonder, do people understand the difference of what happens at a city level versus state level?
Right. So on the state level, you know, you are actually legislating law, which means you make the law. So this seat is very important, just like those gun laws that came out. Although, you know, we have legislators who make the laws, but Governor Kemp actually signs the law, whoever the governor is. So when we have issues that come up like that crazy Senate Bill 202, and, you know, if we don't be real careful, we're gonna eventually be without our voting rights as we know it as of today, because the Supreme Court, with the Voting Rights Act of 1965, you know, there used to be a part in there, Section 5, which meant that you cannot just change the number of drop boxes. You can't change the location without getting permission. You know, you can't close a precinct early without getting permission. And most of those were the southern states, you know, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and those states, where they shot that down. And so I'm just afraid that if we don't start, you know, exercising our right to vote, that voting will not be as we know it. So anywho, going back to our legislators. So they actually go in and, you know, they write the law, they make the law. And of course they have to be voted on, but it's important for us to get the right person in there so that we can get the right laws that fit us in our community. And also some of the differences between city and state legislation is that, you know, I talk all the time and y'all know about the sidewalks and the streets and stuff like that. So those are issues for our municipality. Those are those persons that we're, you know, that I'm beating over the heads about. Sidewalks, street lights, cutting these trees and all this kind of stuff. But, and then when we talk about some of the roads, like if it's Highway 138, that's a state road. You know, Highway 29, that's a state road, which means that's on our legislative side. That means those are the persons that we go and complain about that. But still, you know, when we're complaining about the potholes in the roads, the one that we're complaining about over here on Fairwood, that is city government. So some things you know, there's a difference between who we make our complaints or our concerns to, versus, who we voice our concerns to. So we have to know the difference between where to go to for those concerns. And who to report them
Thank you, Jane.
from.
Mr. Merlin, now, welcome to coming tonight from the South Fulton Chamber of Commerce. Do you want to let everybody know what the chamber is about as far as if anyone has a business or upcoming events?
Good afternoon, or more so good evening. Merlin I here with the Greater South Fulton Chamber of Commerce. We cover all 8 cities of South Fulton County. So if you're on Highway State Road 29, anything going from Southwest Atlanta all the way with Chattahoochee Hills, we are the connector for our home base, our micro, and our small business owners who are trying to connect with our corporate partners and our industrial partners. If you are in the market or have a home-based business or brick and mortar, we're more than glad to assist you regardless of which city that you're sitting in, as long as it's situated within South Fulton County. Our goal is always to make sure that we work from the inside out, not the outside in. So there are things that you're looking for. Please just visit the chamber website at southfultonchamber.com and look to see what we have going on there, or plan to come out to some of our events, be it our lunch and learn sessions to that of our business after hour, or any of the events that are being posted by way of any of the other cities. Again, when we work together, we work for a better situation.
So I know you said you got a golf tournament coming.
Chamber Golf Tournament is an annual tournament that's situated which will be hosted at Wolf Creek Golf Course on September 15th. Of course, we have this education of our leadership and graduation of our leadership class on, I believe it's June 23rd. That is currently out on our social platforms, be it the Chamber website, Instagram, and LinkedIn pages, as well as our Facebook page, I believe, as well. Yes, ma'am. So again, we are here to advocate for our small micros and small business owners to help our larger partners understand our home-based business officers are those who they can reach out to should they want to outsource some of the things they do. We also have staffing agencies that are part of our chamber as well. So again, if you are in the need of a job, these folks will certainly want to reach out to you, or you reach out to them, so they in turn can start that conversation and place you where you want to be it from temporary to that permit. If it's something in the industrial market, you have DHL that's looking, you have Centos is looking. You have, again, these folks are looking for able bodies to fill some slots. But if you're interested in golfing, please come out and have a great time. It's always a good time on the course to build relationships, eat, and have some fun.
Well, that being said, I'm going to ask, do we have anyone in here who has a business that would like to tell anybody about what their business is? We have a question. What do you consider a micro business, Mr. Knight?
That would be 10 or less employees.
All righty. So do we have anyone else who has a business on here?
And when we made mention of being micro, our banking partners and our credit union partners are always looking for those micro to small business owners based on your footprint as well as your dollar value in terms of business revenue, gross revenue. So when you're talking about micro, we're speaking of those that are generating less than 100,000. And folks, there is money out there for you because of that. And that's coming directly from those banks and credit unions. PNC Bank has lowered their credit score because you are the guarantor for those micro loan or those smaller loans. They have lowered their scores below 700. So if you have a 680 or somewhere in there, I'm sure they can work something out for you. But please reach us at the chamber office, 770-964-1984, and or just go to our website, info@southfultonchamber.com, leave a message, and we'll certainly get back to you. Again, our credit union partners as well as our banking partners are looking for you. They do not offer grants, but they will offer a business loan.
Alrighty, thank you for that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell Ms. DeWitt, is there anyone else on here that's their first time on the call tonight? Alrighty, so just to tell you a little bit about what's going on over here. District 5 under Councilman Corey A. Reeves. This is his first term. He is running for re-election this year in November. There's currently 2 other candidates that's in place, well, that filed their paperwork. So you have 3 choices. Let's see what we have. Obviously he came in during COVID. We have come out of COVID, and a lot of the projects that we have been working on behind the scenes have finally come into play this summer. I know a lot of council people probably do quarterly council meetings, but he does a weekly Monday night meeting every Monday. Birthday, holidays, anything. He is on here from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. We generally have 1 to 2 speakers a month. We have an open forum, and then we have a legislative Monday. And that is normally the 4th Monday, so that before the council meeting on 4th Tuesdays, we go over the agenda and answer any questions that people have from reading the agenda. Let me see. We recently got approved for over $600,000 worth of repairs at Burdette Gym, which is within our district, which is off of Burdette Road. If you know where Creflo's Dollar Church is, that side street is Burdette Road. It is across the street from McNair Middle School at 2945 Burdette. We acquired the field at the end of the street last fall. So we are working on schedule some events there. We had a chili cook-off last year. We're bringing it back with some veteran events. Miss Joyce on here, I think, came in first place. Let me see. We have the repairs coming inside and outside of Burdette Gym. We then launched, we're the 2nd city as far as I know of in Metro Atlanta, behind Atlanta, to launch midnight basketball. That is in the evenings on Fridays. And I think they're planning to do a battle of the 2 cities with whoever wins out of these 8 weeks is going to go up against Atlanta. It's not just for ball players, the family can come out. We provide food for people to eat and everything. Let's see. We also have, we launched a 6-week Electric 101 trade school under Parks and Recreation. As far as we are aware of, they are the only one that came through Parks and Recreation in the country. So we are first in that again. So tomorrow will be their 2nd class. The Parks and Recreation is sponsoring the training. So tomorrow is the last day for anyone to get in from South Fulton. They do need to be in the city of South Fulton if they want to come, because you're only allowed to miss 1 class and they already missed the first one. So they would need to be there 6:30 to 8:30 for the next 6 weeks. We also just got approved to do Friday Night Lives, which we have been progressively increasing each year. We started out with just the nonprofits handing out resources and just keeping the gym open. the year before last year, we added in the community events like card night, bingo night, things like that. And so this year we're adding in the concerts. So if anyone is familiar with the Wind Down Wednesday concept, we will be having Friday Night Live over at the Burdett Field starting June 30th with jazz. It is to acknowledge, our theme is to acknowledge all the first responders, all of our teachers, and City of South Fulton employees that give their time and effort to help everybody. So we'll be acknowledging them June 30th over at Burdett Field. It is going to be, we just walked the field this morning for where everything is going to be set up. So you can bring your chairs, you bring your coolers, and just sit and enjoy the concert. We'll be there June 30th, July 7th, July 21st, August 4th, and August 18th, I think. It's going to be every other Friday from July 7th. It would have started June 23rd, but we'll be at the annual convention at the Georgia Municipal Annual Convention in Savannah, which last year we came on and did an update on the things we were learning in the convention, which is how we started talking about grant funding. And Councilman Reeves last year sponsored a grant class for the residents who wanted to learn about how to write grants. That is a conversation that we just recently had, that we were thinking of bringing back the grant group to help with some funding scenarios and to start preparing them on practicing with writing again. We did some grant reviews for Fulton County earlier this year, and one of the grants that I put in, we got funded for city summer youth jobs over here in District 5. So we are putting them at the summer camps, economic development, and then helping with some nonprofits. So that we were the only ones who were funded to provide some summer training in the city. We also got funded from another grant application we submitted to get 2 interns for the entire summer to find some affordable housing options for us. So they're currently working with Booker T. Washington, who just built the cottage homes on Godby Road. So they're out in the field with him, learning how to build them, but they're coming up with a plan of the process of how someone would want to build in our city. What are the steps they have to go through and the issues that they have to deal with and how to resolve, a plan for that. So they've been spending a couple weeks inside. Now they're on the field, they'll come back and then they'll go through the permitting process to see how that process works and write up a report on what needs to happen with that. Let's see. Parks and Recs is working on a new soccer field. And we have another department that is working on providing an environmental building on the field as well. So that facility, we're looking at, the interns are also helping with. We're looking into creating that with environmental materials, sustainable materials, and that facility would provide training opportunities. We'll be looking for input from the residents as we get closer to coming on to finalizing what that looks like. But right now, some of those ideas, we have a resident who does aquaponics. So for the sake of the example, that could be a class that we provide over at that facility, is teaching people how to do aquaponics and grow their own fruits and vegetables sustainably and healthy. We could teach people about water, environment. I think we have a couple people who are in an environmental class with House Representative Mandisha Thomas right now. So, there'll be some things that'll be coming down. As a new resident to the area, tell us some things that you are interested in or concerns for you. Ms. DeWitt?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Say it again.
As a new resident, what are some things that are of concern or things you want to know?
Well, when I was looking for a house, I was looking at different areas, and where I live caught my eye because, first of all, I was wondering why nothing has happened on Old National as far as building up the area, because I go to World Changers, and I was just trying to figure out like what's going on. So when I started doing research, I saw that something was potentially going to happen with a buildup over there, like something pretty big. And so I was really excited about that because I feel like Old National nothing has happened. Like everything is building up around the city. And so when I looked up around Old National, I was like, yes, I hope they're about to do something over there. So that was captivating. I don't know this area that well. Like I said, I grew up in Southeast Atlanta, so I don't really know this area that well. But from what it looks like you guys are organized. I'm new. I'm never usually into city stuff at all. This is nothing that I'm into typically, but I just got interested in it. And so I just think that hope.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Okay, something came up on my, hold on. My serious talk. But I don't know. I really just came to listen, not to really be on the spot. But I just want to know, like, I guess what's going on in the area and how cities come together and what you guys do for the community. So it's all new to me. I don't know. I do film. I'm a filmmaker, so that's usually where I stay in my lane, but this is very new to me. So I'm just really here to listen. I don't really have any input except for I hope that they really are going to be doing something in the area to really bring Old National and that area back up.
So we can ask economic development to come online and give you an update of where they're going. So our fiscal year for the city is October 1st through September 30th. So we are in our third quarter technically. So we'll be getting ready to wrap up this fiscal year. But I do know our city, College Park, owns up through Bank of America and the flea market. That's under College Park. District 5 for the Old National Corridor or Highway 279, if you hear people say that, is starts from Bank of America with Old Bill Cook and goes down to World Changers or Burdette Road. Burdette Road, up to Burdette Road. World Changers starts District 6. And now this is where Joyce will have to help me on if District 6 ends at Creel. Is that where it ends at Creel Road, right after, a little bit after LA Fitness?
Yeah, after.
And then from there, District 7 picks up and goes down till we get to 138 or Rick Ross House.
Right.
So that's how the districts just on Old National are broken out. And then of course, they spread out depending on the direction that they were mapped. The maps were redrawn last year and came into effect this year. So if you wanted to see what the boundary lines for each district are, the maps are online. If you go to the city website, I believe.
Awesome, awesome. And I think a young lady, Miss Connie Branch, she did say something, the Mensa project, that was one of the things I saw that was potentially happening in the area. And then I saw that it had stopped for some, it seemed to have stopped for some odd reason. So I'm with
I
Miss.
don't know the name of the Mansa project specifically. I know there was initially a big press release news across the street from where Creflo's Church is, behind the tire area. I don't know if that's the Mansa project or another project, but that project initially when it was put out had not gone through the city yet. So they had to put in for their permits and get it approved and go through council. And I'm not aware of the details that has come through.
Okay.
I don't recall them approving it at the council meetings. So if that is the same thing, I'm not aware that the paperwork was put through.
Okay.
Not necessarily that it was held up, that it wasn't seen to put through was the last I was aware of. Earlier this year, that was the way the comments went in the council meeting. If someone else recalls something different, then let me know. Is that the same project or is that something different?
It sounds like that's it. Yeah.
All right, now let me be clear. They have repaved Old National. They are working on the sidewalks. They just put the economic development office on Old National in the plaza near the LA Fitness. There is some plans, a lot of plans that are happening. I know a lot of people think that we should be able to do everything and anything, but they have to remember that this is only a 5-year-old, 6-year-old city. If you were talking to a person, they would be still a little kid. You would not talk to them like they're a grown person and they should be able to do everything like they're 40 years old, which is the majority of cities around here. And so a lot of times I think people's demands are, these are my personal opinions, people's demands, they sometimes talk to the city workers and or council as if they should have everything in place. And they forget that we don't have all the positions full, all the staffing. If you go on our website, we generally have 30, 40 positions open because it's a growing city. I've walked through the office today and was like 10 people. I didn't know who they were. So they're constantly putting positions in place, departments in place. We just launched the sanitation this month. So we're in a growing place. Miss Stacy Williams, you got your hand up? Hello? You're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Well, now you're muted. You might want to log out and log back in. I don't know. We can't hear you. Well, I thank you for the kudos for the Department of Sanitation. I do know there were some people that were happy about it and some people that were not. But this is going back a little bit to Jane's point. There were several people who made complaints about the trash service, about the difference of fees, the level of service they were getting. And so enough people complained that the city made that a priority to put in place. Now, once it had made it through the steps to put in place, a lot of people, once it was actually going to happen, several people then wanted to speak up on whether they wanted it or didn't want it, but the time had passed. So that goes to the point of, if you got 40,000 people capable of voting to pick a person and only 1,400 or 800 people pick a person, once that person is in place, whatever they choose for you is what you get. And so the people who speak up when it ahead of schedule, by the time we are putting stuff out and announcing it, it's taken months to a year for it to get to that point. By the time they had went to the council to approve it in, I want to say October or November, whenever it was approved, they had already gone through bidding it out, picking a contractor. They were coming to finalize them by the time it came to the council. The complaints that triggered them to go and get sanitation happened in 21. So the trash service rollout June of 23 happened at some point during 21, which was still COVID time, but the world was still turning to put the city in place. So I think a lot of times people don't realize, if you're not engaged with your city in a regular basis, decisions are being made on behalf of you all the time. And so you got to be engaged. So that's the best I can say, is the people who are on here are people who are engaged. And as you can see, out of, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people in his district, we have 20, 30 people who come on here on any given Monday. And guess whose words he hears when he goes on to the stage and has to speak on behalf of this district? He talks to this group every week. Good, bad, or ugly, they get to make their comments and say what they like or don't like. And he listens to them, whether they say them nicely or not nicely. Well, let me back up on that, not nicely, because we talk to people here with respect, and we talk to people, we can get our words across without being rude. So we may have an emotional appeal, but we still have to talk to people like they're a person. Or as long as I'm running the meeting, I will put you out the meeting. And I will mute you, because people are still people, and we have to be respectful of that. And even there are times that people are going through things, even as a council person. At times I've had to remind people that Reeves is on this call and he's smiling, but he's dealing with a death in the family, or he's dealing with something, and he still comes on here and portrays a nice front, and let people say what they want to say. But people still have emotions and feelings. And even as a council person, they don't get paid full time all day, every day, to only deal with individual personal concerns. They also are building a brand new city, and they're coming up with legislation, and they're coming up with plans, and they're coming up with, where will City Hall go? They're coming up with, what are the districts? They're coming up with, what will we do sanitation this year, or water this year, or build up the parks this year, or build a new park this year. A lot of those things are in plan. I think once you have a city up and running, it's easier to just maintain it. But you're picking people who are deciding how this city will look in 20, 30 years right now. And I think that's the biggest thing that people should remember that. Yes, Miss Candia.
Hey, Tamika. Question, and I'm sorry to kind of
No, it's
side.
open forum tonight. We had to reschedule
Okay.
our
Yeah.
speaker. So tonight is open forum.
Yeah. I heard you say that, but I know you were on the train of thought. The comment I'm going to make is kind of separate from that. Someone contacted me today, was like, "Oh, the city messed up our tax bill. The bills went out today and they're like $200 some." And it just dawned on me. I was like, "Oh, those are for since I live in Camelot, it doesn't affect us, but those are for the new trash collection." So okay, I just wanted to clarify that, because I'm going to call him and be like, don't forget, that's the new trash bill. Because I think most people are still thinking they're going to get a separate bill. They weren't expecting it to be seen for it to show up on their actual tax assessor bill.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because this is the month that we're changing and adjusting. And, even to remember what day you have trash service was very hard for me to remember. We don't get pickup on Mondays. Now we're on Thursdays. And I see some trash cans out that they're full, and at the end of the day and at the end of their driveway. And I'm like, they put it out today, but they're not coming till Thursday. So this is going to probably take a month or two for people to get used to. You are correct. The city decided to just do a one and done billing for your trash service for the whole year. And I think some people only had once a year the big pickup, but now it's going to be monthly. Majority of I think 30349 has the green lids, which the pickup is Thursdays, which will also include the bulk trash pickup on third Mondays, I believe. Is bulk trash is third Mondays. So
Yes, I think you're right.
I think that's what they said. So and that's every month, not specific times of the year. That's every month. So yes, so that is a group. Now, if there's someone who can't afford to pay it all at once this year, then just like we have which is still open, the rent and mortgage assistance program, and I believe they might have utility, I don't know, but I do know the rent and mortgage is included with the city of South Fulton, and our website is cityofsouthfultonga.gov. They can apply for the assistance. So I believe they're also allowing them to apply for that assistance for the trash service as well. What that will mean, though, is still people will need to budget to prepare. That'll still be one big bill next year. And I think sometimes we get the waiver for things and don't always realize that's going to hit again. Well, I haven't seen the tax bill yet either for the trash service, but I'm sure they coming. If somebody got one today, I'm sure the mail working this week. So, Miss Loretta, you had your hand up.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So just let me understand the process now. We're still going to get the bill every year for the trash, right?
Once a year.
Once a year. So if everybody's getting invoices now, I thought we weren't getting invoices until July 1st. So has that changed? I'm just trying to understand when so I can update my community, let them know when it's coming. I'm just trying to, because I thought we wasn't sending it out till July 1st. That's what my understanding. I could be, correct me if I misunderstood.
So I'm not sure of the exact date, but we have people who are actually getting the bills. So, I mean,
And
at
I
this
think
point,
it was
whatever they said, they done sent the bill out. So
right.
that target has moved if somebody got them in their hand.
Right. Well, I think, I don't think it changes when you have to pay it. It's just early. I think it's
they just mailed them.
Right. Because I have mine too. So I don't think, whatever the date that you have to have it paid, I don't think that changes. You just get it early.
I mean, I get that. I would just,
Under the impression they were mailing.
Yeah, I just like to be, pretty precise and consistent when I tell my members in my community when things are coming. So we don't, say they don't come back with, what about this? What about that? Because we have folks that say, why, and what? And you can tell them, and I just don't like to go back and forth, flipping it. I just like to be consistent because I told our board members in our community that it was going to be July 1st. And we just had our board meeting on Thursday, consistent that, hey, July 1st is when the invoices are going to come out. So I just want to make sure that we just be consistent on what you guys doing, so we just don't give out misinformation. That's all.
Right. So what I think that, so let me, since, let me say this, since we have someone who is on here with an actual bill. So when did you get your bill?
I got mine today. No, let me see. Y'all got mine today.
Okay. When is the due date?
So I'm saying.
And does it list sanitation on there with the amount?
So no, mine, I don't see sanitation on mine.
No, it was just a notice of assessment.
So
Right,
it's
mine
the
is just
regular
the
one.
assessment like I would normally.
Yeah, it's
get.
just
So,
a notice of assessment.
yeah, so I don't see anything about sanitation.
Now the
Mine
last,
is the same.
yeah, the last day to appeal this assessment is the 24th of July, 2023.
Right, but
Okay.
this don't say anything about sanitation.
So is the amount that's on there close to what it was before?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is the regular
This is my
assessment.
regular assessment.
It's the
Yeah,
regular
that's-
one. Okay.
I just looked at it, so yeah. This
So
my
then they
regular
may not,
assessment.
they may still not be mailing it until July then.
Okay.
Yeah, but this
So-
my regular assessment.
So if you don't mind, do you mind saying, is it going to be still the 237 amount? Do you see that, or you don't see amount on there at all? I'm just
There's
curious.
no amount. There's
No,
no
I don't
amount
see an
for
amount.
sanitation.
No,
Okay, thanks. Okay, I just wanted to make
Okay.
sure. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't see it. I don't see, I
Okay.
just looked at it, so I don't see that. No.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Thank you. And
Now,
thank you
on
for bringing that up for clarity.
The only other thing, when we went to the meeting a couple of weeks ago at Economic Development, they said you can contact your mortgage company, tell them how much your sanitation bill is going to be for that whole year, and just have them to add that little extra in your mortgage every time. And so by the time the end of the year comes, you ain't got to try to scrape it up. They'll have the money already in your escrow to go ahead and pay it for you.
And that's true. You
And
can add
That'll
it to
take
your
some weight,
escrow like
that'll
you do
take
your
some weight off of you.
insurance.
Yeah,
You
that'll take some
can do
weight
it
off
like
of
your insurance and have it added to your escrow.
you. Yeah, that'll be.
And I think they will. I think they will, because if they add this to your tax and you have an escrow, then it's gonna automatically come out through that. And if you're short, it's gonna do the difference anyway.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, because if like mine is in my escrow. So if my escrow comes up short with whatever else is being added, like even if my insurance or whatever go up, then they will increase my escrow or tell me your escrow is short. So then I will have to pay that. So it'll go automatically.
Well, if anyone does tell their mortgage company, let us know if they said yes or no to that answer, so we can pass that on. Are they or are they not? Because it may depend on the mortgage company.
Okay.
So let's just let people know the reality
With that on.
of
So,
that.
so one more question, guys. I'm sorry. So it's safe to say that we'll be writing this off with our taxes too. Is that safe to say? If we're talking from a tax perspective, this 237 should be where we're paying, it's mandatory to pay. We should be writing this off on our taxes, correct?
I would not say that is that is a answer, because
Okay.
everybody is different on how they file their taxes, and they're gonna have to take that up with their tax person.
But my question is, this is tax deductible. I'm sorry. This is tax deductible. That's my question.
Again, we cannot answer that for
Okay.
you because this is a utility service. And I
Exactly.
don't know if your tax person or the IRS dictates that you can deduct your sanitation for your taxes.
Okay.
The billing
Alright.
service, they're using the tax assessor just as the billing service.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Because
see,
they
that's
already
good to
got
know.
everybody's
Okay.
address, they already got
Okay.
it in the system, they already set up. and they're not gonna put a lien on your house or anything if you don't pay it
Okay,
on
So that-
time. Or they're just the company that they're using
okay.
to facilitate to do this bill.
And that's why I was asking, because that was the rumor where if you don't pay your taxes, they can put a lien on your house and all this. And I'm just, and yeah, it's just, and like I said, we've been hearing that. I have a neighbor who says he's not paying it. And I just saw on the YouTube that the sanitation they said it's mandatory. So I'm just trying to make sure, it's just so much different information out there. Is this mandatory for people to pay? That's another
Oh,
thing.
it
I
is
wanted to know.
mandatory.
Okay, it
That
is.
part
Okay.
is not, that's
Okay.
not rumor. That
Okay.
is true. And how
Okay.
do I know this? Because
Mhm.
people contacted the office.
Did they? Okay.
And we had a flight attendant who said she's not in town enough to pay for trash.
Okay.
And he still
Yep.
told her the address is getting a bill.
Okay.
We
All right.
had someone who said they don't want trash service.
Yeah.
And the answer is they're
Yes.
not gonna pick and choose who want trash, who don't want trash.
Exactly.
Everybody got trash. Everybody's supposed to have trash, and they just flat. That's it. Everybody getting
Okay.
the bill.
That's
And
good.
so
And I just
that
need,
is happening.
I just want to make sure that, when we go to these, when I take it back to my community, they understand exactly what South Fulton has said. That ain't what we said, is what they said. And I just want to make sure I get that clear understanding. And I appreciate y'all.
And if you own your business, if you work from home and you own your business, you can try to write some of it off on your business.
I agree.
Again, that's between you and your tax person. But
Oh yeah, you can.
also know that anytime the community meets as a collective and they want either the councilman to attend or they want like a sanitation or someone to attend, all they have to do is reach out to me and send an email that you want to try to schedule them to come out or do a Zoom call or whatever. We've had sanitation come on here. They literally voted on it that Tuesday, and that following Monday, he was our guest speaker. 30-day rollout, he was our guest speaker. So we try to put the information out and send the links. If you're not getting the newsletter, then make sure you're getting the newsletter. The website for us is District 5 MeWe.org. And my email is tamiko.leverett@cityofsouthfulton.ga.gov. And so, I just sent it to just Miss Kimberly instead of everyone. I'm sorry. Miss Sumley, you had your hand up.
I had the hand up, Tamika, that they were talking about whether they can claim their taxes, the trash on the taxes. I used to do taxes for ARP, and many people used to ask that question. And the question is, no, you cannot claim trash on your taxes.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
You don't hurt to ask.
Yes.
Ms. Tamiko, the one thing I want to add on it to them, okay, now that the city has taken over as far as the trash service, I think they're giving them to the end of June. They should be done picked up all the GFL trash cans and all that. Now come effective July and you still got trash running over. Okay, then you're going to come to the code board and that's not going to be good because the fine is $1,000 per day per violation. So make sure you take that to your HOA.
Girl, say that one more time, because that's a good one. I need that. Say that one more time.
It gave them to the end of June to pick up all trash cans. Now, some people, GFL, okay, if you haven't paid, they're not picking up your trash. Some people still putting trash in the old GFL. But come July, if you still got that going on and the code people come by and write you up, then you're going to come and see us. It's $1,000 per day per violation.
Okay. All right. So now in that defense, we unfortunately in our subdivision, we have multiple different type of vendors in, and a lot of the question out there is if your vendor has not picked up your trash can, what do we do with that trash can? I know unfortunately it'll be on our property, but we have a vendor that has that bought out another third party and another third party, another third party. How do we get this information out to people out to let them know?
Okay,
And
now
I-
the city has got their own, the blue cans, your blue cans. Your people can come up with all the excuses in the world. If they don't have no blue cans and put them out on Mondays, on my side for District 6, but they pick up for us on Mondays. But
So
they
it's by
won't
the
have no
color
excuses.
code of the trash can. Green is on Thursdays.
Yeah, well, we have blue and that's on Mondays.
Okay, so I'm talking about the vendors who have not picked up their trash, y'all. And I say that because that's one of my dilemmas. I have a few of us in our neighborhood. We can't get in touch with the old vendor for whatever reason, and we're still having that particular vendor's trash can. I'm only putting out South Fulton. I'm aware of that. But is there a way? I know you guys and the other company has to come pick up the trash can, and then we can't reach them. What do you guys suggest? Let me just ask you that. We can no longer reach the company.
Well, they gave them to the end of June to get those trash cans up. And like I'm saying now, if that trash can is full, they might not take it. If you ain't paid, they ain't taking no trash can.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I'm sorry
Yeah.
about the empty. They're empty. I see what you're saying. I don't want to.
Okay, if they're not, if they don't have no trash in, you just leave them to your curb till they pick them up.
Right. And I literally just talked to Gordon today and asked him how long do they have to pick them up? Because I know mine is still here. And he said they have through the month to pick them up, just like they had through the month to drop them all off. So now they all have a month to pick up their trash cans. But tell them, like she said, make sure they're empty.
Right. Don't try to put no trash in there because they're not gonna pick them up like that.
I get you. All right. So if they don't come, we just reach out to you guys because ours is Fulton Waste Management. We can't never get in touch. This Fulton, I think mine is Force Waste Management, and there's no way of getting in touch with these folks. But you're saying they still have the end of the June to come get that can. That's my question to you. And if not, I need to notify you guys.
Yeah, they still have that time.
Okay, thank you. Because I have
now, what I suggest with you, let's say the week before and they still haven't got it. Then reach out to whoever your council person is and say, they got to the end of the month, but they still, it don't look like they coming no kind of way.
Okay. All right.
Don't get into no frantic panic.
Oh, I mean, it's just the trash can, but I just,
Yeah, but nobody don't want to keep saying that because you got people that will call in and say, they still got their trash can at the curb.
Exactly.
Right. So we don't want none of that. No, we working this system right here.
All right. Perfect. All right.
So
As long
let
as
me
we know we
see.
got some accountability, that's fine. Thanks. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So if you go on our main website, if you go to towards the middle, you'll see is a button just for sanitation. And once you come down, they have a frequently asked questions. But the answer that I was looking for wasn't under frequently asked question. It was under residential solid waste services. And when you came under here, this is when they said, how will you be billed? Look right there, July. What day will my home be serviced? And then that's where you went over to this map and put in your address, and it would tell you when my old cart be picked up. So, but he said they're giving them through this month. How do you report an issue? You can click on that track easy. How does my HOA order service? Now, I do have one HOA that said they haven't gotten their service set up for whatever reason. So I'm sending an email to all the HOAs to reply to me that I am aware of in District 5 to let me know so we can make sure they got that working. Some people wanted 2 carts, so that question is on there. And then we have the bulk trash pickup, which is broke down like this. District 5 and 3 is 3rd Mondays of the month. So this is 2nd Monday. So next Monday is 3rd Monday. And then what all they're willing to accept for you for your bulk items, and then what they won't take. And then for those things that they won't take, you can take them over to Merc Miles service. All right, and some people have backdoor service, but for them to know that, you would have to fill out the form. Now, if you go over here, and then you can send an email to sanitation. But if they don't come and pick up your stuff. Now, some people said they're not answering, I guess they're getting overwhelmed with emails, so they're not answering all the emails as fast as everybody would like. So I can't speak for that. But that's the actual place to report it. Now, when you come over here, which I thought was a really cool thing to do, you see the map of the city, all these little dots are houses, and it gets bigger. Can y'all still see the map I'm looking at?
Yes.
So this gets bigger and it turns into the streets and everything as we get bigger. Anyway, I did not realize that till I came on this site to answer the question for someone else, that the trash cans have different lids. And so that was really easy. If your lid, the color on the top of your lid was the day for your pickup. And obviously the day after, if it's a holiday, everything moves a week. So I was like, oh, that was pretty easy to pay attention to that instead of breaking down my street or my neighborhood or my block. Depending on the color of your lid is where they doing. And it's really easy because they're picking up in the same area. If you notice on the map, that's mostly District 5, some are 6, I suppose. Well, but that's mainly District 5 because that's Old National and 285 and all that. But anyway, I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
That was a real easy way to process that.
Thank you.
No, thank you for bringing it up, because if no one says anything, we won't know.
Right.
Like even Candia a couple weeks ago gave us the example that the flyer for the midnight basketball or the training was like not conveying the message it was supposed to communicate. We're at the week of now, but we couldn't understand why we were having a problem until she said that. So if people don't speak up, we don't know. So we appreciate y'all speaking up. All right, Sumlin.
Tamika Ernestine, question. If a house is empty or unoccupied and there is a trash container on the curb, and I know it's not anything that you all can do, what's being done with those containers? I mean, anybody could come by and pick them up if they needed an extra container.
I agree with you. That is a good question.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Hey, it's Kimberly. So I told you I've been in my house for about 3 weeks. So maybe the first week that I was there, of course, I was using my trash can. I haven't officially lived there yet because I'm still bringing stuff in. But I was there like on a Tuesday. Wednesday, when I came back, my trash can was gone. So I went online and I started trying to figure out, did somebody take my trash can? Or, what happened? And then I started reading up on what was going on with sanitation. And I said, oh, well, maybe they came and got it because they thought the house was still vacant. I don't know. So to this day, I don't know if somebody took it or if they came and picked it up. But all my neighbors still have their trash cans.
Well, send me an email that someone took your trash can.
Okay. And I
we'll,
did register for it.
And your address, and we'll get that resolved. Put that in the email. Your name, address, phone number, and someone in your trash can seems to be missing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Alrighty. Well, I know we kept this kind of light tonight. And I know that you are have deeper concerns, but every week don't have to be all heavy questions. Sometimes we can just answer basic questions. Alrighty. And so, I'm sorry. I'm so used to changing my name. I never changed my own name. Alrighty. Any more praise reports? Any more businesses that want to introduce themselves?
Hey, Tamiko,
Mhm.
today's the last day that we have to turn in our application for the electrical classes to sign
Um,
up. What do we need to do?
so the class starts at 6:30. If anyone wants to try to still get in the class, I suggest they come tomorrow at 6 o'clock to see if they can still get in. I know last week it was only like 2 or 3 slots left, and I know people have been calling, but
Okay,
calling and showing up is two different things. But I know for a fact if they're not sitting in that class tomorrow, they definitely not in that class.
I could have sworn the class was on Wednesday.
It is not. It's Tuesday,
It's
6:30
Tuesday.
to
Okay,
8:30. And last week was the first week, and so there's only 5 more classes, and their certificate class, and that's it. So
okay,
that's the 6 weeks.
okay, okay.
Let me see. Next question or comment. I know we went over a couple minutes, but I just wanted to give people the space because we were helping each other answer the questions. Anything left that anyone else needs to ask tonight to get someone to answer? Well, then, as of now, I will say for tonight, all hearts and minds are clear for today. We'll take it. I have 2 praise reports for us to roll out in for those who were not here early. Um, we had the public service loan forgiveness last year that we talked about. And I found another person contacted me today that she was approved. They waived and threw out 96,000 of her student loans. So I'll be praised for that. And the summer jobs that our grant group that we applied for, to, they need to, if someone wants to 16 to 24 wants to work under the summer jobs, they need to go to that site tomorrow for Fulton County summer jobs, because if everyone has not already placed their kids for the summer, then they're probably going to do it this week. So I know I'm preparing to get mine to start next week. So that's it.
Thank you, Tamiko.
You're
So I'm going to
welcome.
email you in reference to that student loan thing because I might need that assistance.
All right. Well,
I
let me
email
say
you.
that was a special program. That one is gone. Now we back to the regular ones, but I will at
Okay.
least tell you how to get to the regular ones.
Okay. Thank you.
And Ms. Mumford is feeling better, so the CPR classes will probably be coming back next month.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing. For those of you, if any of you belong to a nonprofit, partner with a nonprofit, want to recommend a nonprofit, we are preparing for not Friday. Well, 2 things. National Night Out, which is August 1st, I believe, and they are looking to highlight nonprofits and small business. So if they want to set up a table or a tent or a booth, they just need to fill out the form and it's no charge. So it's in the parking lot where LA Fitness is, they block that off. So if you have a business or a nonprofit that you want to participate in that, then please send me an email that you want the National Night Out application and I will make sure I get it to you. And then the final thing is we did get approved to start the Friday Night Live concerts. And we are looking for nonprofits that provide resources to set up tables during the concert nights. The first 2 nights coming are June 30th and July 7th. And so that is an opportunity to put out your information, or if you have something that you want to do to raise some money and do a fundraiser, then that is your opportunity to do that, because the concert and the parks are going to be free, but we also want to let people know about the community resources that's in the area or give the nonprofits the opportunity to raise some money for their resources. And then there will be food trucks for people to eat, and they don't want to bring their carts. And we'll be blocking off the street. And if someone needs a ride, then we'll have people to help do rides. Okay. Well, for those who old enough to know what I'm talking about, good night, John Boy.
Good
Good night,
night.
Grandma.
Good night. See y'all next Monday.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good
Good night.
night.